to receive $1 million in-kind donation for your organization. Would you be interested? Right? Our volunteers and interns have done that for our organization. Would you like to know how we did it? Glad you asked. Okay. So in February, our new CEO, Johan Zietsman, took over the reins of the Arsht Center. He hails from South Africa, and at our very first staff meeting with him at the helm, he shared the concept of Ubuntu. It means I am because we are, and it is the new philosophy that is permeating the walls of our center. Nelson Mandela describes it as the profound sense that we are human only through the humanity of others, that if we are to accomplish anything in this world, it will in equal measure be due to the work and achievement of others. This really resonated with me because as I thought about it, I thought that the volunteer and internship program at the Arsht Center really already does this. Who we are is completely because of the backing that we have from so many different departments in the center. It's not just about volunteer services and what we do, because a lot of times we're kind of like in the shadows. People kind of forget about the volunteers. But we've come a long way in the last couple of years, but again, it had everything to do with the support that we had from the different departments. So I kind of wanted to share with you a few examples of what we did. Okay, how many of you all feel as though other departments have no idea what you do? Anybody? Anybody? Okay. Well, I had proof. I had proof that nobody knew because I used to work in our marketing department, and before I had the opportunity to step into this position, I had no idea what our volunteers and interns do. It was as I was learning the position that I learned the immeasurable value of the volunteers that we have and what they give. So I decided that it was something that I really needed to do to enlighten and let our colleagues know just how valuable our volunteers are. Looking back, I found that constant communication with my colleagues, and by constant communication, I mean don't forget about the volunteers. Remember the volunteers. The volunteers. Don't forget the volunteers. It made enormous impact after a while, because what they say, like, if you hear something after 7 times, it finally sticks. So it's been about almost 7 years, so I think it finally is taking. So at the very first staff meeting, once I stepped into this position, I told the story of our volunteers, and it went a little something like this. Who are our volunteers? They range in age from 18 to 94, and contrary to popular belief, many of our volunteers are actually still of working age. They represent 29 different countries and speak over 10 different languages. They represent nearly 29 different professions, many at the executive and C-suite level. One interesting fact is a lot of our volunteers, our ushers, are actually former and current airline flight attendants. They said there's just something about sending people down the aisles. It works for me, because they're usually some of our best ushers, too. Our docents and docents' assistants have contributed over 800 hours and guided 117 tours, to include those for our blind and low vision guests. Our admin volunteers have donated 4,300 hours. That's like watching Rent 1,433 times. Our award-winning audio describers donated almost 1,000 hours, equaling a major gift of $24,000. Our ushers and greeters welcomed 387,000 guests, contributing nearly 23,000 hours. At the end of the presentation, I was surprised. It actually went over better than I thought, because I was like, okay, this is what our volunteers do. So many of my colleagues came up to me and they're like, Nicole, thank you, because we had no idea. So that was amazing, because what it did is it sparked them to start thinking outside of the box and thinking how they can have their volunteers help them finish projects, big and small alike. Soon, I was getting requests for volunteers to do everything from helping to assemble bags, like gift bags for a gala. Do you guys have those? Putting those gift bags together. Doing data entry, helping out at off-site promotions, follow-up phone calls. Anybody work in memberships? All those stuffing, the mailings that they do, volunteers. Programs, sometimes things happen, we have to sticker our programs, getting volunteers in to do that. The requests came in. Anything that you could think of, it was a beautiful thing because people were realizing, they were discovering the undiscovered force that we had. As I continue to further reflect on Ubuntu, it became clear to me that genuinely caring about our volunteers and our fellow colleagues, especially throughout major change, also plays a big role in our success. Perhaps the three greatest things that happened to volunteer services was our IT department, our web department, and our box office. The three of them, which they all happen to be sitting right there. That also was not planned, they had no idea. Between the three of them, they worked together tirelessly to help automate our volunteer experience. It took about a year, and by the time they were done, our volunteers were able to sign up online on our volunteer portal, as well as, at a click, find out information that they used to always have to send an email for. Not only that, it really smoothed our new volunteer orientation. And the best part, it tied into our Tessitura database. Yes, making my life that much better. And literally, that as a department of one, because I'm a department of one and I have the support of volunteers that come in and out, but having that one adaptation literally was the difference between me leaving and going home 9:30, 10 at night to leaving more at a normal hour like 6 or 6:30. Ubuntu. As our organization continues to grow, change is inevitable. This season alone, in addition to having a new CEO, we also have a new theater manager, and some changes have happened to the volunteer program, and it actually caused a little widespread angst for our volunteers. So our volunteer advisory team, which is a small group that kind of tells us what's going on and represents the whole, suggested that maybe we have a town hall. And so we did. At the town hall, when we were getting ready for it, I called on my colleagues for help, and I was so touched at how they came to my aid. Our production team set up the room in such a way that if volunteers were not able to come and attend right there in person, they could call in on the phone. And then on the day of the town hall, our VP of HR, who is my supervisor, our AVP of operations, and myself, we addressed the concerns of the volunteers as a team. At the end of the night, it went over very well, and the volunteers were just happy to have been heard, even though they didn't hear all the answers that they wanted. At the end, a day later, I received notes like these. Hi, Nicole. Just wanted to send you kudos for a professional and informative meeting for the Arsht volunteers last night. I appreciate that you took the time to offer this town hall and believe it will support a positive vibe among the volunteers. Sincerely, Alina. As Johan has transitioned into the center, he made sure to make time for the volunteers. He graciously accepted my invitation for a meet and greet with the volunteers, and in addition, he actually hosted a listening session. He invited all the volunteers, not necessarily all pictured there, there's a lot more, but he invited all of them in, asked them where they would like to see the center in 5 years, and then he listened. These few scenarios not only demonstrated to our volunteers that we care, but it reinforced the crucial role that connection and inclusion play in fostering Ubuntu. We purposely and mindfully make sure that our volunteers are woven into the force of our organization. We did a survey asking our volunteers what motivates them to donate their most precious commodity, their time. As we know, once that's gone, you can't get that back. So why is it that they feel that they want to give it to us? And they said that volunteering their time to the arts helps them feel like they have a sense of purpose, and it's how they connect. So, connect we did. Recognition and appreciation of the volunteer team has become an organization-wide responsibility, and I have the privilege of leading the charge. This year, during Volunteer Appreciation Month, 7 different departments, which is the most we've ever had as far as I know since we've being there, showered our volunteers with appreciation with flowers and food, personalized gifts, all sorts of things. Some even put together a quick video of thanks. Take a look.
You define who we are. You help us win the hearts and minds of Miami's diverse community. You make us shine.
Thank you for all your work and support.
Thank you for choosing us.
Thank you for believing in the Arsht Center's mission.
Thank you for everything you do.
Woo! Happy Volunteer Appreciation Month! Woo!
So I was very grateful for that because it helped let me know that I wasn't in it alone. It was all of us together, Ubuntu. So inclusion goes well beyond the departmental walls. A few weeks ago, we had the honor and privilege of hosting the first of the national Democratic debates for the 2020 United States presidential election. This means that one of the participants in that debate could essentially be the next president of the US. It was a magical and surreal, unforgettable event. What made this event most special to me was that in all the excitement, the volunteers were not forgotten. The moment that I will always remember is when NBC needed seat fillers and asked a few volunteers to take their uniform off for the evening and sit in the audience. The pure, unadulterated joy and thrill and elation that was on their faces was priceless. In addition, they were invited to the recap event where we all celebrated as an organization, where not only did they get a huge round of applause, they also, along with all of our volunteers and interns who helped, also received a special limited edition personalized ticket created specifically for the event with their name on it as a thank you. Ubuntu. Speaking of interns, our interns have made a huge contribution. I love my interns. They help keep me young. Even when I'm not sure, like they keep, these new words that keep coming up. I'm like, what are you talking about? So I love them. Just saying. Last season, they donated over 11,000 hours, which is essentially the same amount of 5.5 full-time employees. One of our design interns, under the watchful eye of our designers, actually designed both of our Arsht intern logos. Interns improve our processes and they open our eyes to fresh perspectives. On their first day, I conduct a workshop with them and I teach them how to set goals in such a way that they become attainable, that they just don't put them so far out there that it becomes a dream and not a reality. And one of the things that they always say that they want to do is build their network. So midway through the season, we always do a mid-season review, and half of them haven't done it. So I check in, like, what have you done to build your network? One of the things that the staff has done who's come together is they host 101, like college-style workshops called Arsht University. These workshops range from marketing and programming, from advancement to ethics in the workplace. Just introducing them to all the different positions that exist in arts administration and in a theater, and a lot of them had no idea. We had so many marketing interns that came in as marketing end up working in advancement because it's still marketing to help raise money. Through these workshops, our interns were able to cultivate a professional network in their industry of choice. The beauty of this is that the learning ended up going both ways. We launched a UTIX program, which is a ticketing program for our college-age students, and we were trying to figure out how best to market to them. So our promotions manager and the marketing director at that time bought pizza, because food will do wonders, and they had a focus group. And they talked to our college-aged interns about the design of the flyer, how can we reach them, is the cost of the ticket worth it? That information proved so valuable that we started doing the focus group with every new set of interns that came in so that we could reach college-aged kids in the surrounding area. Not only do they get to network vertically, but also horizontally. Meet Diana. Diana was a former marketing intern, and after she finished her internship, she ended up working in an HR department for an organization. When their organization was looking for an entry-level designer, she called me. She was like, I remember, even though I was in marketing, we had design interns. Do you know anybody that's looking for an entry-level position? To make a long story short, our former intern, Diana, hired our former intern, Ilana, Ubuntu. Ayana, although a senior in high school, knew exactly what she wanted. She wanted to tell stories through photography. She captured the transition of our Ailey Camp Miami kids through a breathtaking photo presentation that was shared at our final performance. The Adrienne Arsht Center's Ailey Camp Miami is a free summer program that uses dance as a vehicle for developing self-esteem in young students. It recently received the 2016 National Arts and Humanities Youth Award, the nation's highest honor for the creative youth development programs. Her project became a part of the donor cultivation for the center to raise funds for the camp. Last year, we raised $330,000 for Ailey Camp Miami, and Ayana's photo contribution to that effort was invaluable. Meet Beth. Beth was a stellar intern who stayed with us for 2 semesters, assisting our memberships team. Her support was vital in helping the team to raise $150,000 that season. She is now an Arsht Center employee in advancement, working in memberships. And guess what? She now requests volunteers and interns and works directly with them and treats them with the utmost kindness and respect. Beth, oh, sorry about that, okay. It is so great. It is so great to have you join us here as a fellow employee and to see how much you've grown. We are proud of you, girl. Yes, proud of you. Okay. So basically, over 44,000 hours is what our volunteers and interns have donated to us, equating to almost like a 7-figure gift. We recognize that communication, caring, and connection, we are able to foster Ubuntu, a deep understanding among our volunteers, interns, and staff that we are all in this together. Sorry. The ones laughing are my coworkers, right? I literally stand here before you because we as a community are. I stand here before you because everybody on that screen. I stand here before you because of the support of you all. I am because we are. Give Ubuntu a try. You might just get $1 million in-kind donation out of it, or you might get something even much, much more valuable. Thank you.